good morning, or better, good afternoon, or good morning, good evening, and good night even if you're joining us digitally from North America or Asia. Welcome to the High North Dialogue 2022. We're sending live here from Stormen Bibliothek, Bodø's main library at the very center of this beautiful North Norwegian town. My name is Andreas Rospotnik, and I'll be again your host at this year's High North Dialogue 2022. In this capacity, I welcome you all who were able to join us here in Bodø. It's a bit more than last year, thank God, so welcome all of you. And I hope you can hear me and even see me behind all the cameras. My role as a host is a rather simple one. I'm here to offer you some guidance on what will happen today and tomorrow, and provide you with some important logistic and technical points to keep in mind. For now, two, to be precise. First of all, how to ask questions during the conference. A good conference is nothing without the active participation of our audience, either of those joining us here in Bodø or those joining us digitally. For both of you, either here in Bodø or in the global village, please post all questions via our online platform and the respective chat option. Our colleagues from the Arctic Institute will gather all the questions and then make them available to the respective moderator of each session. Second, don't forget to share your thoughts. Follow our sessions and spread the High North Dialogue word. Please do tweet, share, and like. And of course, always use hashtag HND2022. Again, hashtag HND2022. And now we're ready to start. To officially open this year's High North Dialogue, please welcome the director of Norwegian University, Hanne Hansen, and the director of the High North Center for Business and Governance at Norwegian University, Frode Mellemvik. Hanne and Frode, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, participants at the High North Dialogue Conference 2022. Norwegian University is very proud to host the High North Dialogue Conference with all its activities. The High North Dialogue will be performed as a hybrid format conference with about 250 participants here in the library today and about 700 in participating online. This format was a great success last year with about 1,000 participants altogether. The High North Dialogue Conference is, as the name implies, an arena for dialogue. In the current times, with the Russian government's invasion of Ukraine, we have a war in Europe. It is all the more important to keep as many arenas for dialogue going as we possibly can. Therefore, High North Dialogue Conference in 2022 is more important than ever. The university strongly dissociates from the war that the leaders of Russia has started. The university follow the new regulations and the sanctions given by the Norwegian government. The new regulations given to us by the government implies that we can continue people-to-people and researcher-to-researcher cooperation. This conference is exactly that, an arena for people-to-people cooperation. We need this arena to discuss how we plan for a better and stable future for us living in the High North. The title of the conference is Business in the Arctic, the Great Shifts. Yes, there are several great shifts. For example, climate, demography, and security. We need to address these in order to adjust and prepare for a better future. And I certainly look forward to all the discussions, and I hope I will learn a lot. We are very pleased that the previous and the current government both have made a white paper describing some of the great possibilities of the North. The strategic area of the North University is well within the possibilities and the challenges described in the white papers. We look forward to further cooperate with private business, public sector, academia, nationally and internationally, as well as the government in developing new knowledge and education in areas that will help us all to take the opportunities that arise from these shifts. Nord University's strategy built on the Norwegian government's clear and committed statement that the High North is Norway's most important strategic region. In the strategy of the university, it's very clear that we will strengthen social and economic research related to the High North. The core areas are blue and green growth, sustainable innovation and entrepreneurship, health, welfare and education, and public security. Each of these core areas aim at addressing and develop new knowledge needed to prepare and utilize the changes arising from the shifts and develop good societies with high level of welfare. The High North Dialogue Conference is probably the Arctic conference with the lowest average age of participants. The conference focuses especially on master and PhD students and young people in their early career, which is easy to see here today. Many of the young participants are during this week taking master and PhD courses in the field of Arctic business and governance and global management, and the conference is integrated in these courses. This is an innovative way of making it possible for the students who are interested in the Arctic issues from all around the world to meet with and discuss with relevant companies of governmental institutions. We are proud of all the young people participating in the conference because we need the voices of the young people to create the Arctic and develop the Arctic in a sustainable manner. And we want you to use your multiple arenas in this conference to make your perspectives heard. And I'm happy to see that the young voices are participating in all the panels. Well, I am looking much forward to these dialogues and wish us all an interesting, engaging, and valuable conference. Thank you very much for participating in the conference, and I'm very happy to ask Professor and Director Frode Mellemvik to guide us into the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rector Hanne Solheim Hansen, Your Excellencies, dear participants at the High North Dialogue Conference 2022. We have been waiting for you, and I'm very happy to see all these young people, as the Rector said. Of course, we who have lived for a while, we should also discuss Arctic issues, but those who are the future, you should really discuss the future of the Arctic. I am very thankful to all of you who said yes to participate, both being in the conference but also digitally, and those who said that you will share your ideas, your vision, your proposals in the different dialogues. In all dialogues, we try to have a mixture of the leaders of today. There are quite many in this room with quite much responsibility for the society. And also there in the screen, there are quite many watching us with responsibility. But in all these dialogues, we shall also have the leaders of tomorrow. Meaning that we could make a mixture of exploring the new ideas and exploiting the wisdom of the experience. And as the Rector said, we are very happy that we are so many. And as also the host said, there is 3 years since we could gather so many here. And you who are there sitting at your screens, you come from 40 countries. So we have participants from all around the globe. And that is very important because the Arctic is not only for us living in the Arctic, but for all the globe. And we are very thankful to a lot of people who have helped us much, not at least our sponsors. They have contributed financially, but also with ideas, creating an interesting program. So the warm thanks to Nordland County, to Equinor, to Innovation Norway, to the city of Bodø, to Stormen Library, where we are sitting today, to Nord University, and to the conference committee with representatives also from the labor organization Norway, the Confederation of Norwegian Enterprise, the Norwegian Fishermen's Association, and the Center for the Ocean and the Arctic. In the High North this year, we are going to discuss business in the Arctic, the great shifts. And we will focus on many of these shifts. And it will be about the green shift, the shifts influencing international cooperation, shifts in governance, ocean technology shifts, as well as demographic shifts. And we will also have what I call the famous ambassador panel. Famous, why? Yes, because a lot of ambassadors, not only ambassadors from the Arctic states, would like to participate, but this is exclusive for ambassadors from the Arctic states. So we will have the views of many Arctic states. And the High North Dialogue Conference have for the last years been awarding both a High North Hero and a High North Young Entrepreneur. Also this year, we received many nominations for a High North Hero, and they were very good. But because of the current political crisis, and because some of the nominees were prevented from coming to the High North Dialogue, and that is a requirement to be a High North Hero, you must come here, and they were prevented from that. Therefore, the High North Hero Committee decided that it's most fair not to award any High North Hero this year. However, there will be awarded a High North Young Entrepreneur. And you who are sitting here, and also you who are there at your screens, you could decide who that hero should be. So go in, you could vote no, but at the end of today, we will have some kind of a common vote here. So you could also reflect on what of these three candidates that you could find in the program should you go for. The High North Dialogue is also about Business Index North. We had a press conference here just a few minutes ago where we showed how is the business and societal development in the High North. And it's also about scenarios. You will meet students that have been working with scenarios for what will happen in the Arctic in the future. And you should also be aware that this is an influential conference. Of course, you knew that it is influential. But based on what happens here, we will give the Norwegian government some advices. Because the Prime Minister of Norway, he said just a month ago that the government, they will make a strategic roadmap for the High North policy. We will use this conference to send proposals to the government. And if any of you have a proposal that you think you will send directly to me or to any others at the High North Center, so we could send it to the government and to the Prime Minister, please do that. Use our mails. But you could come with influential proposals. It's time to start the dialogues. Now we will go into the direct dialogues. And the main topic of the conference is addressed in the first dialogue panel. And that panel is moderated by Borch Michaelsen. But before I hand over the floor and the digital platform to you, Borch, it's a pleasure for me to introduce the Norwegian Foreign Minister. She would have loved to be here, but because of the circumstances in the world, she could not. But she has sent her address to us, and I wish you a fruitful and exciting dialogue, all of us. And it's with pleasure I welcome the Foreign Minister, Anniken Whitfeld. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, thank you to the High North Dialogue for inviting me to this year's conference. I'm pleased to hear that so many of you are in Bodø today. After 2 years of COVID and digital meeting places, I know that you will all appreciate being in the same room and not in the digital sense. Back to the normal way of attending conferences. But things are not back to normal, generally speaking. We are all disturbed by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a brutal war against a sovereign, peaceful neighboring country in Europe. This is a clear violation of international law. The response from the international community is strong, and it affects us all, companies, people, organizations, and research institutions. As Russia's neighbor, Norway has long sought to develop trade, business, and people-to-people cooperation across the border. Much of this will now be cut off or frozen. This is devastating, particularly for the people who have spent a lifetime developing ties and friendship with the Russian people. But this new situation also highlights the importance of ongoing dialogue and discussion about life and development in the North. The topic of this year's conference is business in the Arctic, the great shifts. Democratic shift, green shift, security shift. All these shifts are affecting life and development in the Arctic. Here in Bodø, you will discuss what this means for the future of the High North and for young people in the region. My government puts the Arctic on top of our political agenda in today's political climate, foreign policy, and domestic policy is even closer interlinked. We need to make sure North Norway is resilient and ready to face future challenges and opportunities. For this we need people, schools, universities, sports and culture. We need the best scientists in the world. We need business opportunities, innovation and investments in new and green technology. The good news is a lot is here already. Now we will take it a few steps further, and conferences like High North Dialogue here in Bodø, Nordland, is an important part in moving the agenda forward. I wish you the best of luck with the conference.